So here we have a game that was recorded quite a while ago now, and it's before the last update, so you can see the UI is the old version, which is kind of strange because after all the complaints, they supposedly reverted the update to the UI, but actually the new UI is different to this. It has much smaller letters. But anyway, that's not so relevant to the game. I'm uploading this one partly because I can't see this set of circumstances happening ever again with some of the upcoming changes. So they're changing canned food. Instead of giving +2/+1, it will only give +1/+1 to the shop. And maybe you can see where this run is going when I've got triple snail frozen already. And I was happy enough on full health to just keep rolling for more cans and potentially a fourth snail. But I accidentally won there. So the plan doesn't change. I just keep rolling for more snails, more cans. And I'm not even sure what the original plan with this run was. You can see I'm buffing turtle with giraffe, so maybe I was going to do multiple turtles. I'm not sure, but that's how long ago this is. And unfortunately, by 1 HP, I avoid losing there. Otherwise, this run might have turned out differently. So I buy another can. We get a boar, and my team is pretty bad at this point. So I think I have to buy the boar. And I probably should buy it before buying the otter here, but I'm not sure why I didn't do that. But we get tiger, and tiger boar's not too bad. And you can see I'm thinking about not even bothering with the boar or the tiger. But in the end, I make the smart decision. Get rid of the otter and get the tiger in there, and we get another can in the shop. And to the back, because again, I'm still not too bothered if I lose. Although I probably should have put it up front. An easy win again, and my 3 snails are still frozen, but we get another can purchased. Now obviously buffing snails up has kind of a shelf life, because you can only use them when you lose, and so once you've got them into the team, you really want to get them into the team before you've run out of lives, so that ultimately you can make use of like level 2 snail, which is something you don't see very often. But now here, turn 11, get a cat, which is perfect for the 2 frozen cans, and that gives a massive buff to the snails. And still on full lives, but we're on 7 wins already, so I'm happy just to keep rolling for a can and try and get these snails as huge as possible. And I think this team is going to finally beat me. But then the difficult decision is, am I going to buy the snails or not? And it's not so difficult because I decide almost straight away that I'm not going to do it. And I'm just going to keep hoping for more cans and more snails. And probably I should have sold the giraffe there and bought the scorpion at the front. But instead I get another boar with much better stats. So we're just going to buy that, I think. And not often you would pass up double melon in the shop on turn 12, but all I care about is getting more cans. And I'm not sure I've ever had a situation before where I had 3 snails frozen and I lost and I didn't buy them. So again, I lose. The snails are all glittering, but I'm still not content with the size of their stats before buying them. So we're going to roll for more cans, even though one more loss and the snails won't be usable anyway. So we get another can there. and keep rolling. So that was a terrible turn. All I got was 1 can. But we did find another boar. So next turn it'll be level 2 boar. And this is cool. This team had front badger with tiger, and they absolutely annihilated my whole team. So well done to that team for still making badger work. And again, we've got the snails frozen. But I think this turn, is this the turn? Yeah, I'm going to buy them, I guess. I have to now, because this is the last opportunity to actually use the ability. But I can't decide whether or not to keep the tiger. And I really want to have 3 separate snails, and I feel like the boar and the turtle are both essential. So tiger is probably going to have to go. But I take my time about it because unfortunately here there's a canned food as well, but I don't have enough money now. Oh, I do have enough money. I guess I can buy the 3 snails and just save the boar and hope that they survive. So you're not going to see that very often, is triple snail all buffing each other. And unfortunately, no, we don't lose here. We can't lose here, otherwise it would be over. I guess the melon was good enough and the snail survives on 6. So there's another canned food, although it's probably not worth it at this point because my team is set. I'm not selling any of the snails now, and I don't want to combine them because having 3 massive snails is not something that I'm likely to get again in a hurry. And unfortunately here, the skunk takes the boar down, but it doesn't matter because their backline's actually pretty weak. I keep thinking I'm going to lose, but now it's 9 wins, and unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I roll another snail in the shop. Now, what can I possibly sell to fit the snail in for 4 snails? And realistically, it has to be the boar, because the double melon and steak from the turtle is just too important. So boar goes, and we buy the 4th snail and actually move the weakest one to the front to give it the steak. I roll a couple of times, and there's another steak. So we're going to get 4 snails and then 2 steaks. Now the problem here is that the health of the team is so low that having 17 health as your highest health on turn 16 is just a recipe for disaster. And surprise, surprise, we face a disgusting penguin team. And for some reason they also had dragon because they just weren't content with the ridiculous levels of scaling they were getting from penguin. So kind of an unfortunate loss, but realistically that team had no chance on turn 16. But I had to go for the 4 snails because I'm probably never going to get that chance again. So since I'm clearing out some old footage, let's add some more fails to the pile. Here is Quad Squirrel, and it has a similar kind of problem to Quad Snail, is that they've ended up with low HP units with steak, and most of the time you're just going to be facing loads of teams with steak and melon, and there's very little chance there. Turn 17 I had no shot. This one's slightly different though, because turn 14, here you can see I've got triple shark, and I probably, like, this is not unrealistic to think that this could win, especially since I have a level 2 skunk, and I have now multiple melons. The problem is what's going to happen here is I'm going to buy this skunk, and then I'm going to roll once, and I'm going to find a 4th shark. And there's no way I'm not buying this shark. So now the swan has to go because the skunk ability is too good to lose. You know, the skunk could in theory trade with a 50-50 with garlic or something at the front. So actually, is that right? I think that's right. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. You'd have to do the sums. But in any case, it could trade with a very large unit. So this swan has to go. We'll buy this the 4th shark, And unfortunately, one of the issues here is that the smallest shark is one of the ones that has the melon. I think if one of the other ones had it, it might be more realistic, and I probably should have played the small one at the back, except I was slightly concerned that there might be a croc, level 2 croc. But even with that really poor setup and possibly incorrect ordering, it still gets all the way to the back and only loses to the penguin. Now here, this one is actually a recent game on the current version, and it's kind of crazy because this is an absolutely ridiculous fail, where I make a massive misplay, having painstakingly got a chicken game going to have 4 octopuses, and instead of buying melon on the front octopus, I buy mammoth and pillet. Like, what am I doing? And even despite making that, I know I've made the mistake, but as soon as I do it, I think I can still win. And then they have double scorpion at the front, and unfortunately, both the front 2 octopi miss, and they end up surviving with this gunk on 4 HP. So there's a lesson for you. Buy melon, don't pill mammoth.